Alright, today I'm going to go over the technical specifications of the all-new iPhone 11. Alright, it just was released. It's going to be ready for pre-order this Friday at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. As you can see right here, this is the new iPhone 11. It has dual cameras right here, and it comes in a variety of colors such as black, green, yellow, purple, product red, and of course white. Alright, so let's look at some of the technical specs as capacity. As you can see right here, there's three different models for the iPhone 11. There's the 64 gigabyte version, the 128 gigabyte version, and to top it off at the max, there's a 256 gigabyte version. The size and weight. The height of this unit is 5.94 inches, the width 2.98 inches, and a depth of 0.33 inches. The weight is coming in as 6.84 ounces or 194 grams, just shy of 200 grams. The display screen is 6.1 inches diagonally. Alright. It comes with the Liquid Retina HD display. Of course, we said 6.1 inch diagonal. All screen LCD multi-touch display with IPS technology. 17.92 by 828 pixel resolution at 326 ppi. A contrast ratio of 1400 to 1, which is typical. True tone display, wide color display, haptic touch, 625 nits bright max, which is typical, fingerprint resistant oleophobic coating, support for display of multiple languages and characters simultaneously. All right. Splash and water resistant, dust resistant, rated IP68 with the maximum depth of 2 meters for up to 30 minutes. All right. The chip, they have the A13 Bionic chip. It's the third generation neural engine. So you have a lot of power back there. And then one of the main things that stands out is the camera. As I said, it's a dual camera. It actually is 12 megapixels, ultra wide and wide cameras. So there's two cameras on there. The ultra wide is an f2.4 aperture and 120 degree field of view, while the wide is f1.8 aperture. 2 times optical zoom, digital zoom up to 5 times. Portrait mode with advanced bokeh and depth control. Portrait lighting with 6 effects. Those include natural, studio, contour, stage, stage mono, high key mono. And there's also an optical image stabilization wide. All right. 5 element lens, ultra wide, 6 element lens for the wide. Bright true tone flash with slow sync. Panorama up to 63 megapixels. 100% focus pixels in the wide. Night mode is a new feature that is included. Audio adjustments, next generation smart HDR for photos. Wide color capture for photos and live photos. Advanced red eye correction. Auto image stabilization for the pictures. Burst mode. Photo geotagging. And image formats captured in HEIF and JPEG. As for the video recording is 4K video recording at 24 frames per second or 30 frames per second or a max of 60 frames per second. When it comes to 1080p HD video recording at 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second. 720p HD recording at 30 frames per second. Extended dynamic range for video up to 60 frames per second. Optical image stabilization for video in the wide. 2 times optical zoom out. Digital zoom up to 3 times. Audio zoom. Brighter true tone flash. Quick take video with subject tracking. Slow-mo video support for 1080p at 120 frames per second or 240 frames per second. Time-lapse video with stabilization. Cinematic video stabilization at 4K, 1080p, and 720p. Continuous autofocus for the video. Take 8 megapixel still photos while recording 4K video, which is a plus. Playback zoom. Video formats recorded in HEVC and H.261. Stereo recording, which is nice. Let's go on down to the true depth camera. 12 megapixel camera, f2.2 aperture, portrait mode with advanced bokeh depth control. Portrait lighting with 6 effects: natural, studio, contour, stage mono, high key mono, animoji, and memoji. 4K video recording at 24 frames per second, 30 frames per second, or 60 frames per second. 1080p HD video recording at 30 frames or 60 frames per second. Slow-mo video support for 1080p at 120 frames per second. Next generation smartphone. Smart HDR for photos. Extended dynamic range for video at 30 frames per second. Cinematic video stabilization at 4K, 1080p, and 720p. Wide color capture for photos and live photos. Retina flash, auto image stabilization, and of course, the burst mode. Now with iPhone 11, it has Face ID enabled by True Depth Camera for facial recognition. Apple Pay comes with this. Pay with your iPhone using Face ID in stores, within apps, and on the web. Send and receive money and messages. Complete purchases made with Apple on your Mac. Apple Card, which is something that is relatively new. Credit card created by Apple, designed for iPhone. Use the Wallet app to apply for, manage, and use Apple Card. Pay with Apple Pay using Face ID in stores, within apps, and on the web. Titanium laser-etched physical credit card for use when Apple Pay is not accepted yet. The carriers so far for the iPhone are AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Verizon. Their cellular and wireless coverage, I'm not going to go through all of this right here. Location, built-in GPS, GNSS, digital compass, Wi-Fi, cellular, iBeacon, microlocation. Video calling, FaceTime video calling over Wi-Fi or cellular service. Audio calling, FaceTime audio, voice over LTE, Wi-Fi calling. And there's audio playback in several different formats. I'm not going to go over those. As well as video playback, the formats HEVC, H.264, MPEG 4, Part 2, and Motion JPEG. All right. AirPlay, mirroring photos and video out to Apple. And you have Siri. You can use your voice to send messages, set reminders, and more. Get intelligent suggestions on your lock screen and messages, mail, QuickType, and more. Active hands-free with your only using your voice. saying, "Hey Siri, use your voice to run shortcuts from your favorite apps." As far as the external buttons and connectors, you have right here your volume down and your volume up, ring silent, built-in stereo speaker, built-in microphone, side button. And on the rear or the bottom of the phone, you have your lightning connector, built-in microphones, and a built-in speaker. Battery and power. This lasts up to 1 hour longer than the iPhone XR. Video playback up to 17 hours. Video playback stream up to 10 hours. Audio playback up to 65 hours. Fast charge capable up to 50% charge in 30 minutes with 18-watt adapter or higher sold separately. Built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery, wireless charging, works with Qi chargers. Charging by USB or computer system or power adapter. Now with the sensors, you have Face ID, barometer, 3-axis gyro, accelerometer, proximity sensor, and ambient light sensor. The operating system is iOS 13. Accessibility features help people with disabilities get the most out of their new iPhone 11 with built-in support for vision, hearing, mobility, and learning. You can fully enjoy the world's most personal device. Some of the features include voice control, voiceover, zoom, magnifier, RTT and TTY support, Siri and dictation, type to Siri, switch control, closed caption, assistive touch, and speak screen. Some of the built-in apps, I'm not going to go through all of these, but these are pretty much the typical built-in apps. And then there's also free apps from Apple. Headphones come with these. The iPhone 11, ear pods with a lightning connector, pretty much standard. SIM card, dual SIM, nano SIM, and eSIM. iPhone 11 not compatible with existing micro SIM cards. Rating for hearing aids, M3 and T4. Mail support, system requirements, Apple ID, internet access, syncing to Mac or PC requires Mac OS Catalina 10.15, Mac OS El Capitan 10.11.6, Windows 7 or later using iTunes 12.10. Environmental requirements, operating ambient temperature at 32 degrees to 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees to 35 degrees Celsius, non-operative temperature, -4 to 113 degrees Fahrenheit, or -20 degrees to 45 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity should be between 5% and 95% non-condensing. Operating altitude tested up to 10,000 feet. Variety of languages that it's covered in. What comes in the box? iPhone with iOS 13, earpods with lightning connector, lightning to USB cable, USB power adapter documentation. And that's pretty much the iPhone. All right. So let me know if you have any questions about the new iPhone. All right. Thanks a lot for watching.